Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekisms. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' 2 the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
Ed Gein, Demon Hunter, on Indiegogo. After a deranged demon escapes the bowels of hell, Satan is forced to send a damned soul back to Earth as a demon hunter. Armed with a sacrificial dagger, Ed returns to his old stomping ground to capture the demon before the universe is destroyed. Ed Gein, Demon Hunter. Issues 1 and 2 available now on Indiegogo. Prepare for the ultimate face-off.
We've crossed paths more than once. I've whispered in your ear, shown you harmless little temptations. I am unknowable, yet you know me intimately. But you can always know me better. Collected here are 20 twisted tales that will thrill, chill, incite, and delight you from some of the most imaginative minds your species has to offer. This exclusive Indiegogo printing of The Devil You Know Better will be limited and numbered, with signatures from Mike Barron and Hart D. Fisher. Stretch goals achieved for this campaign will add interior chapter illustrations by Stefano Cardacelli. The Devil You Know Better. Back it on Indiegogo today, while you still can.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics, Myopic Proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, and I do answer the phones on occasion for Critical Blast Consulting. Tonight, comics is getting expanded into the goodie baskets here. I mean, we've seen trading cards, we've seen posters, we've seen holographic covers. We are entering a whole new realm, boys and girls, of what we can put into our crowdfunded campaigns. And leading that off is Mr. Darth Lunga with
Hello.
something new. Mr. Lunga, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Archie. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. How are you doing tonight?
You know what? I'm one swallow better than I was a second ago.
There you go.
And joining you, we have Mr. George Peter Gatsis, who
Greetings.
is no stranger to the toy industry. Sir, how are you doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
So I'm going to ask, what was the influence here? What made you think that this is what we're missing? I mean, it's cool. It's really cool. I'm just curious as to how this came around that this was what you were going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually just a real quick thing. It was weird because from issue 1 of Isadora, I had an artist who goes by the name of Red Leaf do an anime inspired print of Isadora. And I'm like, well, this is what the character looks like. Here's the model. Do what you want with it and see what we get. And the print he came up with was a cutesy kind of Isadora sitting on her bed, holding a Cthulhu plushie and having other Eldritch beings plushies behind her on the bed. A typical scene in an anime kind of prints like that, sitting with her plushies. And that was from issue 1. Then we had issue 2, and I was going to be doing issue 3 soon. And I was looking at that print, and I was looking at those plushies, and I'm like, those would make easy just stickers. Let me just, cut them out and make stickers out of them.
Sure.
And I cut them out, and I was going to make stickers. And I'm looking at it hard, and I'm like, well, these are actually plushies in the damn drawing. Why can't they just be an actual plushie? Just take them out of the print and make them an actual plushie. Yeah. So I started researching it and seeing what the logistics would be and how I could get it done, and found a place and boom, I'm making a plushie. And it's literally just okay. I'm like, I'm making a plushie, and I'm doing this, and and looking at the campaign and everything about it, I'm like, just for to get the campaign out there, if the campaign gets funded, it's not costing me a lot to get started. There's not like a huge upfront cost just to get started to do it. So I'm like, what? Why not? Let's jump headfirst into this.
So what goes into making a plushie? Because I'm like, I've seen sewing patterns before, and I can't wrap my head around how that becomes a 3-dimensional object in time.
Well, I mean, if I was making it myself, I'd be able to tell you that. I have a manufacturer to do that. But as far as being a creator and getting it done, and once you find a manufacturer that makes them, the best thing to do is just to have make sure you have the drawings of like the front, back, side. If it's a very detailed plushie, front, back, side, top, bottom too. Depending on the details. The Cthulhu's doesn't have a ton of details, so all I needed was the side, front, and back. And once you give it to them, they just make the patterns out of it.
So that's part of the service.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
fantastic. Break it
fantastic.
down, make the pattern, and then produce a sample. And then when they produce a sample, you either approve it and say, yeah, this is what I want, or you can, keep tweaking it. If there's something not exactly the way you want it, you tweak it and they keep changing it until you get it how you want it. Like with mine, on the first shot, it came out the way it was. I'm like, oh, that's it. I didn't even because it was a simple design. I didn't even. It's like, okay, it's perfect. When I was helping them do the Joe King one, George actually sent me a few corrections, and I sent it back to them, and they made the corrections. And did it. So yeah, it's an easy process once you know what to do with it. Once you're in it and you've been doing it, then it's an easy thing to do.
That's true of so many things. Once you know what you're doing, it's not hard anymore.
Yeah.
I've seen weird plushies in the past. I mean, we've all seen the set of plushies they did. Oh, God, was it 20 years ago now? Where they had Ebola and botulism, just all those stuffed disease plushies. I don't think I have ever seen Lovecraft plushies.
I mean, I haven't either. I haven't run across them. I mean, there's so many plushies that are made nowadays. I'm sure probably something out there somewhere, but it's not a common thing. Let's put it that way. It's not something I've seen commonly on shelves or something out there where you just see it like, oh yeah. I saw something similar at a D&D store, gaming store, where they had something similar like that, but that was about it.
Yeah, I was in a mall a couple of weeks ago, and I stepped out, and there was one of these little kiosks here where it was like just tons of little plushies on the shelves, and I couldn't tell at a distance. I went over. It turned out they had rows and rows of plushy octopuses. Octopi?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, oh, I better go take a picture of this and send it to George and Lunga. I was like, oh, never mind.
The same. I've actually seen those too. It's a big thing in plush. They actually asked me if I wanted to do it with mine. And I'm like, oh, no. They're reversible plushies. If there's the octopus I'm thinking about, you basically push in at the top of its head kind of and push it inside itself, and it reverses to a different color. So they got like these reversible ones you can make too.
Yeah, they had multiple colored ones. They even had like rainbow striped ones. So if you wanted to, it's June's still going. You got 5 more days to put out a rainbow Cthulhu. That would be weird. George, I'm just guessing that you had plenty of 3D models of baby Joe King to send to them.
Yeah, actually, I did. It was a very very simple thing on my end. I had where'd it go? I had this originally.
Yeah, so they just had to model off of that. Oh, look, you've got Ezekiel right there in your hands.
and that's what ended up, which is actually great. It's fantastic, actually.
It is.
Okay, it's absolutely beautiful.
Are these
Lunga sourced out really great people?
Now, are both of these the same size? Because it's hard to tell from the picture, but
Yeah. George designed the picture that way just because the campaign was, a Rubicon Comics campaign, and it was just licensed out with the Joe King stuff. So that's why he kind of made Joe King a little bit. But the plushies themselves are both 8-inch plushies.
Yeah, I love how it'll fit right in your hand, like easily thrown. I mean, easily squeezed. No, I love the coloring too. I mean, the coloring is a very bright green. Joe King's blue fur actually is the same blue as in the comics. I know George and I were just talking about color matching before we started the show up here.
Right there.
So they're able to. I don't know if they.
We gave them a color swatch to work with.
Yeah. So they've got plenty of colors to work with for the bodies and such. And is that embroidered or is that printed there on the foot?
Yeah. It is. It's not embroidered. It is kind of printed. It's weird.
No, it's embroidered. Lunga, it's embroidered. Look at it.
Embroidered on mine.
Are you sure?
I'm looking. I'm holding the actual plushie, George.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, if you can feel it, you can tell the difference.
It's not sticking out. So it's not embroidered. It is printed. So I don't know if it's some kind of silk screen printing that they did on there. But I mean, whatever it is, it's clear as heck. It's day, it's not like
it's not faded.
Yeah, but it's there.
This is all very, very cool. Oh, now he is a little bit bigger than the baby Joe King.
No, same size.
Yeah,
really?
If George
has giant hands.
Yeah, he has big paws. But no, they're both 8-inch plushies as far as height goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe King's body is a little slimmer because he's on a diet. When you get
Cthulhu has more volume in.
Eating universes can it leads to weight gain.
It will put the pounds on. So is the campaign? Is this a plush? This is a plushie campaign. I mean, I was looking to see if this was like an add-on to the comics, but
there is.
This is.
There's right. If you there's you can get the plushies alone, and then you can get right there. You can get the plushie plus Isadora Volume 1 and 2 as a softcover collector's edition. And George's book, that ridiculously large 246-page monster, is also there.
I'm not even going to dig it out. I've got them behind me here, but I've got things on top of the boxes now because I'm packaging up another wave of the company men today. So.
There you go.
I think things are in disarray. So what have been people's responses to you online about about Cthulhu? Because you're not just doing Cthulhu. You are, from the way I understand it, you're setting yourself up as a plushie broker. Hey, you want a plushie? Talk to me. I know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, that's how I'd like to do it. I mean, I already have a few manufacturers I've talked to. This one specifically that I'm doing for this one will be my go-to. But I know the process now, and I got it down pat. And I could easily, if anyone wanted to do plushies, they could contact me. and I can get the ball rolling and take care of it from beginning to end, to get it out there to them, and get the pricing, and and if they like it, that's fine. It's good. The only thing I do have, to get it started is there will be a small non-refundable deposit at the beginning just for my time, because typically it's about by time from finding a manufacturer, contacting them, getting a design made. It's a couple weeks of work back and forth talking to them. So if by the time it comes back and they, and then the customer will say, you know what, I don't want it. Change your mind. I don't want to go with this. That was a couple weeks of my time there. So so I go out to it. There's a little deposit on there. It's not bad. I think $50 is what I was talking about. And then after that, we will discuss, the prices, what the manufacturer told me, and what it would be to get it and everything. And if you want to go with it, we'll get it started. And then, once it's done, the order will be shipped directly to you. And you have all your plushies.
Now, these look like on both of them, definitely on Baby Joe King, it looks like they're the eyes are cloth, or part of the cloth body. They're not like a hard plastic eye sewn in there.
Right.
It's all cloth. It's all cloth.
It's all cloth.
It's like a different polyester kind of cloth. It's harder, but it is cloth. It's all stitched. So it's not like plastic eyes or anything like that.
Yeah, I was just curious how extravagant you could get with a plushie. I mean, say you wanted a plushie that had multiple colors of body, not necessarily the rainbow stripe thing, but so say you're going to go with the cute little Isadora as sort of a rag doll.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they can do it. I've seen other samples of stuff they've done. The only thing we got to keep in mind is the more detailed, the more complex the design is, most likely that'll change the price for them.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they can do just about anything. And the key to it is, if it's going to be a complex kind of plushie, be detailed in the reference art that you're giving for them to make it off of. The more simple it is, the less detailed it's got to be. But the more detailed it is, obviously, the more detailed the reference art needs to be.
So I definitely could not do it. I couldn't come up with the reference art. Thank goodness I don't have any characters to have to do this with. But someday, maybe. You never know. I might make a devil character if I had a specific devil for our book.
Yeah, and I got more bullets in the cartridge too. I mean, I got four more Eldritch being designs, so I have 5 total of these after 4 after Cthulhu. So I have more that I can make for subsequent campaigns or subsequent plushies to make it. That's why I called it a Cute Cthulhu collection, because there's up to 5.
Sure.
I mean, it could be more.
Yeah. Now, 5 backers with 6 days left. Is this your first 30?
This is the first 30. Yeah.
Okay.
First 30 and first Indiegogo too. I'm very used to Kickstarter, and Indiegogo is it's different.
It's a different world.
It's a different world. I don't have my typical reach that I do on Kickstarter here. I've gotten some transplant from Kickstarter, but I've noticed usually moving people from one platform to the other is not the easiest thing. In the world.
No. Once you've got an audience in one place, it's hard. Tatsu Sama, good to see you in the chat. She's saying hi to George and me. And what?
That's Lunga, yep. No, that's Tatsu. F you too, Tatsu. Good to see you.
That means friend Lunga on Facebook. Friend him on
Lunga.
Facebook. That's what that means. Because I'm sitting here thinking, if you've got a collection of them, do you think that that you might get a larger response once you have like a set of, hey, look, it's the Cute Cthulhu set. Here's
I'll be right back.
Sure thing, George.
Right. Pizza's there.
Yeah, no, I mean, the pizza's here. I mean, it's a possibility, but just like anything, you gotta crawl and walk before you run, So
sure.
I'm not gonna. Other creators have gotten themselves in trouble by biting off more than they can chew right at the beginning. The way I set this up is, for me, there was a minor investment to get the sample made.
Yeah. Gotta spend it to make it.
Yeah, and for that, that's all I have into this right now. I just get the sample made in here. So if this campaign doesn't make it, I can start it up again or do it again. So I'm not looking to dump a ton of money into it and then be stuck with 200 plushies in my garage. But again, that doesn't mean obviously we want it to hit as soon as possible, be it the first 30 days or not. But yeah,
Well, there's nothing wrong with the price on it. I mean, $25 for let's face it, it's a limited run of plushies because
yeah,
you don't have a
and
warehouse.
it comes with a collector, and it comes with a collector's box.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a collector's item, and if you compare it to some of the many plushies that are out there, you're going to be right in the same ballpark with them. You got to ship these. They're not in stores, but
I'm not kidding. I showed it last time I was on Georgia Street too. I was at a GameStop the other day for my stepson. He was getting a game, and I've always been like a fan of Jigglypuff from the Pokemon franchise. And there was a Jigglypuff plushie sitting there, and it's literally the same size. It's an 8-inch plushie, same height as this one, and that was $20 to buy it off the shelf.
Yeah. God forbid it's a Disney character. You'll be paying a lot more.
Yeah, then it's even more, right? So you're a big franchise, like Pokemon, the plushie's $20, and that's buying it off the shelf. If you bought it somewhere else, I'm sure it'd be a $5 shipping charge or something, whatever the case may be. So being around that price or $5 more, I mean, we know how indie comics goes, right? I mean, we're talking about floppies, that the big two make, they sell for $4 or $5, on the shelf. Indie comics is $10 to $15 for the same kind of book, but that's because it's an indie comic, right? You're paying
it's for economies of scale,
right? But this, I got this price great, and it's right around what your plushie would cost you. So
absolutely. Any plans to take this to conventions? Because I could see that being a place where if people see it in their on the table.
I mean, conventions have always been my goal when I first started issue 1, but issue 1 started right smack dab when COVID first hit, and there was no, what I mean. So I'm still, we're still here as a family, recovering from all the economic stress that happened because of COVID. So that's why things like my comic books or even this, I don't have a big inventory to take because going to conventions requires an investment of inventory.
Sure.
And then there's the traveling charges. And typically at the beginning, you're, if you can get out of there with, making the money for your travel charge, it was a good day,
Yes.
But
if you broke even, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and with, the more substantial investment would to hold a inventory to plushies, is something I would like to do? Definitely. And I really do think that they would gobble them up at a convention, but that requires me to bite the bullet and say, I'm going to make an investment. And, currently, it's not an investment I'm ready to make, but that is definitely something that's in my back of my mind to do.
Yeah. Here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to make a deal with Walmart, okay?
No.
Because nothing will bankrupt you faster than a Walmart order that says, okay, send us 6,000 of them now, and then we'll pay you for them.
Right. Now, I'll be honest, if this campaign hits its goal or goes a little further, I'd have no problem taking whatever little profit there is and reinvesting it just into inventory. Then if I do that, you know what I mean? Then I have the inventory. Then I can do things like taking it to conventions and stuff like that. And if the convention makes a little bit of money, buy some more inventory and then take it to another one. But yeah, it requires, like I said, traveling around and this and that. And currently with the financial situation we have here and helping out my wife at home and my stepson, traveling to conventions is not something I can easily do at the moment.
Not in the plan yet. All right. Well, someday I'm trying to get back to going to them myself, and same boat. 3 years of. Has it been 3 years of COVID? It feels like it's been 84 years.
Almost 3. Yeah. Wow, it's been long.
I just literally
when I think, because I was still working when it hit. But I was considering about doing disability because I have a lot of medical problems and stuff like that. And right when it hit is when I was making a decision to it, and they laid me off, and I'm like, well, let me see what happens with this first, And then 2 weeks after I got furloughed, they'd said, oh, we're closing this department because it's just not sustainable for our business right now with what's going on. So I got let go with about 70 other people.
Yeah, same boat.
And so that happened, and when it happened, I'm like, well, I might as well apply for the disability that I was thinking about doing anyway. So I did that, and literally I've been waiting the last 2 years for that. It's finally gone through the appeal process, and I'm waiting for the final judgment on it. But that life just before COVID, when I was working at, I was working from home already. This was, I had one of the few jobs that was already work from home. So I was, it feels like another lifetime. Honestly, it feels like you said, it feels like a decade ago.
It does. It's, and it feels like, COVID never goes away. It's still kind of always there.
Yeah.
I just got invitation to a convention that I used to
get
go
it the
to.
entire time. And then I got,
Yeah.
my father passed away at the beginning of May. And I'm not kidding you. The May 5th is when he passed away. We had the services on the 12th. And then we came home. And then 2 days later, that weekend, all of us got COVID.
Oh,
Me,
man.
my wife, and my stepson. and I managed to stay away from, and I'm vaccinated. I managed to stay away from it the entire time. And then boom, I'm like, oh, are you kidding me?
Well, I'm glad you're okay. But obviously condolences hearing about your father.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just got invitation to a convention as a pro author that I used to go to that had been, not conventioning for past couple of years. They're back in business. Like, we don't know if there's going to be mask mandates. We don't know if there's going to be vaccine mandates. I'm like, well, for right now, mark me down as yes, I'll be there. It's granted it's 600 miles from me now as opposed to the 20 that it used to be. But
yeah, and the gas now is 3 times as much as it costs to get there.
I know, but no charge for being there with a table and because they'll give me the autograph session, so that's when I'll set up my table and sell books, and all I got to do is be on like 5 panels. Yeah, I'll be good with that. I've missed
Definitely
conventions.
Oh, hey RJ, we got a backer while we were talking.
What?
Yeah.
Let's refresh this. Let's reload this. Let's see. From 193 to, drum roll, please. White screen, please. The internet's not as fast as it used to be. Oh, come on. I'm plugged into Ethernet, folks. We got a backer.
Yeah.
Lunga, do you know what that means when we get a backer on this show for something?
What does that mean, RJ?
That means that we have what we call the shake and bake moment. And it goes a little something like this.
Shake and bake, and I help.
So whoever was out there in the chat that helped, thank you so much. We do appreciate you. That's makes me feel good to know that we do something for the people who are on our shows.
Yeah, and I didn't even give the big reason, the big pitch. I didn't even give the big pitch yet. This is amazing. All right, so the person just back. Anyone else thinking about it?
Well, now we know who to thank. It was Hero Shack. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's Chris. Hey, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
So what's the big pitch?
Yeah. Issue 2, I had people are familiar with the name Mark McKenna, who's worked in the industry for like 30 plus years. Did
Teen
the
Titans.
cover for Doom Patrol and a bunch of other stuff too. Teen Titans is one of the people I remember the most. But yeah, he did a cover for issue number 2 for me. And it was and I did a limited run of those. I made those 50 colored copies that I had colored by someone, and there was 20 raw black and white, which just has his inks and pencils without any logos on it. And those are only 20 of those printed. So of the color ones, like I said, only 50 exist. And of those 50, 3 of them are signed by both me and Mark. And I was saving those for the next campaign to give as a special item. But what I'm doing now is for this campaign, if we hit 100 backers, one of those first 100 backers is going to win this copy for free. And there's signed by Mark and by myself as well. And there's only 50 of these color copies exist, and only 3 are signed. So, yeah, for free.
You just might be
Winner.
showing up in a random
chicken dinner. Yeah.
In any of the first 100 and now is this okay? That's the first 100 backers on this campaign.
Right. Yes, this campaign.
So we definitely got to hit that fixed goal so that you can because it's fixed. This is not this is not like there's only 6 of us. I got a 1 in 6 chance. No, you have to get all 100 people in there.
I gotta be honest with you. Like I said, the Indiegogo thing is all kind of new to me. Like it shows 2 campaigns for me. The one was just a second chance for issue 2. I'm like, the Kickstarter finished. I'm like, let me just throw it out there because there's some people that said they want Indiegogo.
Sure.
And with that, I threw it out. If it succeeded, it didn't. I didn't really care too much because I already completed the Kickstarter. This is my first actual campaign on Indiegogo. And when I was reading it, and I looked at flexible, and I've seen other people. I do not know how people do those flexible ones.
Well,
It's like,
if it's something they've already made, it's like it's a yard sale when you do flexible. Yeah. So are you thinking that if this doesn't make it, do you think you might take it over to Kickstarter and see how it fares over there?
Yeah, that was one of my ideas. That I was going to do it over there. Indiegogo, I believe, has a thing to extend it, right? I think I can extend it.
Indiegogo, you can set it for 30 and then extend it to another 30.
Yeah.
And then of course you can go in demand, but that does mean that you funded to go into demand.
Right. In demand is funded. Yeah. So I am considering extending this one, just to give it a little more time, because like I said, Indiegogo is a different animal.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of out there talking to a lot of people.
Oh yeah. So Woody says that's a fuzzy toy he could definitely hug, and if you saw the size of it, it's a good sized toy.
Yeah.
Both of them are the same. They don't look it, but they are both the same height. They are both the same 8 inches. So find the ones that you want. Look,
and there's a logo right there in the middle, RJ. Why don't we talk about that?
So there is a logo here, and here's the deal. If you are international, which means that you're outside of the U.S., you can click that and say, hey, I want one of those, and we will take care of shipping it to you. Because that's what we do. We do international shipping. I literally just got off of a private stream with some more clients who are going to be moving forward with us, and they are big names in the indie industry. So it's going to keep me busy for a while. But yeah, we're going to do the shipping for the plushies here. We got packaging. We're ready to go. I'm sitting in front of a crate of cardboard boxes, George. And it's been here so long that I'm using it as furniture now. It's actually holding things. I don't know where they'll go when the box is gone. Yeah, it's a 4 foot tall box of boxes.
Nice.
from Uline. But yeah, if you want it, all you got to do is click this and
like the Indiegogo itself, like if you click the things, it's only for US. But that's what this is for. You click that, email RJ, tell him what you'd like to get, where you live, and he'll give you that shipping price. And if you're good with all that, you can just order it right through RJ if you're international.
We will get it taken care of. Yes. Now,
and this is only during the duration of the campaign.
Right. Now this is the double plushie order here. I was looking for this. If you wanted to get both of them, here you go. They both come in collectible boxes.
That's a great deal.
It is a great deal. And if you order both of them, they'll come one box and one box in the same box, I'm assuming, and that they'll keep each other company.
We are not slapping labels on the collector's boxes. These are going inside a box.
This is not a stuffed stealing solo.
No. No.
We're getting old. Yeah, we're getting old in this industry when we can say this and folks in the chat go, "What's he talking about? What's?"
The hilariousness of this is my reputation as of being anti-Comicsgate or not liking Comicsgate started just with that, because it was a Fandom Menace thing, right? I didn't even know what Comicsgate was. It was a Fandom Menace thing, and when I was just starting my channel, and I just didn't like how argumentative the Fandom Menace was. Let's put it that way. It was just like overboard. It's like, listen, I love the IP as much as you do. I hated what they did with the movies as much as you do, but Jesus Christ, it just seemed overboard to me,
Yes, it's not Roe v. Wade. Come on.
Right. So I saw that, and I saw what happened, and I had just finished my novel. I hadn't done comic books yet. I had just done my first campaign ever successful, a novel that I had there's a lot. Believe it or not, people think it's just words. Comic books gotta be more complicated. There's actually a lot more complicated to get a novel made correctly than there is a comic book. A comic book, you if you know your way around Adobe products at all, you just get InDesign, click, and it formats the entire thing for you. You send it out. As long as your artists, give you the right, DPI and everything like that, it should be fine, and the letter and everything. But with a book, the formatting and everything, it's like I was going to do it myself. I'm like, no, I'm going to pay someone, and I found someone at a reasonable price to format it, make sure it's all correct for print and digital. It was a lot of stuff involved, and then I see this guy making this simple little comic book. and he slapped, there was a blank white back page and the label printed on it. And I'm like, what happened here? Now, the mistake, okay, then I was reading the excuses of why and this. He was blaming the printer entirely. He was blaming this. And I'm like, bruh, no, you get a proof, okay? And there are also to be signed copies, meaning you got to get them to sign them. So you got to see them. So to me, it wasn't the mistake that happened. It's like the mistakes happen. It can happen to anyone, right? Just own up to the mistake. Hey guys, you know what? They screwed up. I screwed up, whoever the case is. It's going to take a little longer, but I'll take care of it. But it seemed like for months, there was a lot of excuses, like it was okay. And then how long it took for people to finally get it, it perturbed me. So I had to make a video about it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. What's going on here? And from that point on, it's like, he's a hater. He wants. Like, no,
I didn't know that book was your origin story coming.
Yeah,
I just was like throwing it out there.
Yeah,
but
my whole thing is just like, man, take
catalog.
care of your customers. That's all I'm saying. Just take care of your customers. If you're gonna give a product, just make a quality product. That's all. I don't give a shit what's in it. Just make it make it quality.
They talked about reprinting that book and doing it on a higher quality paper and everything. And I was like, I would love it if they just like went all out, made it a thick, perfect bound book with a holofoil cover and signatures from Harrison Ford, and then mailed it out by slapping a label on the back cover.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's not that hard, man. It's like my printer is a U.S. printer, a little small mom and pop shop. I think a lot of people have heard of them. They're on their Facebook, Hero and Villain Designs. Okay, they're my printer, and it's got this. My books have this nice satiny feeling Stratham cover to them. The stock is nice and thick for a 24 page. It's 24 page book too. It's not like it's it's what people call a floppy, right? It doesn't feel like a floppy. It's quality, thick. And it's just, and that's what this small mom and pop printer. It's not like some big printing company. I know
them. I've had
they're great.
I can't remember her name, the doctor, but she was
Krista?
on. She was on. Yeah, Krista was on
Krista
here
Crawford.
with her. Yeah, with her book, and we talked about printing some. And if you're going through them and you're doing a book like Isadora, and the Eternal and the Immortal Chains, chains, metallic objects, which is where I'm going here. She was telling me that they've got a new printer that does that metallic ink that you see on the cover. When somebody prints something metal, they've got it that does it on the interior pages now.
Oh my God!
Wow. That I haven't seen.
They foil stamp the pages. Wow.
Yeah, the interior pages they can print.
They do the holofoil. The cards that I do, the holofoil cards, that's through them too.
Yeah, they can do holofoil, but they can like you've seen those covers where it's like the cover is plain, but here's a chain and the chain is all silver.
Right.
Yeah, we can do that through the entire book.
Wow.
So if you want like a little burst of something, since you definitely have a book that has that kind of could have that kind of effect in it.
I highly recommend them. They're great people. They're easy to talk to. They're very responsive. The work is quality. Now, like I said, they're a smaller printer, so they usually only do runs up to 500 copies of something. Yeah. But if you're a small creator, and I mean, let's be fair, there's not that many creators that are doing more than 500 runs of a book.
What I distribute a 500 run is a big run. I was like, yeah, that'll keep me busy.
Right. But I definitely recommend them. They're great people.
Woody says Cthulhu is misunderstood. Well, that's because he's speaking underwater, Woody. It's like Cross Comics is here. Hello, Rick. Glad to see you out in the chat here. We are looking at this campaign of the cute Cthulhu plushie and the Baby Joe King play. I keep saying Baby Joe King because it is Baby Joe King from the books. It just doesn't say Baby Joe King on the campaign there. But George, is there now that you've seen the Baby Joe King plushie? Is there any plan in the future for like a 12-inch to 18-inch fully grown Joe King plushie?
That's a possibility, but that would be more involved. And
body pillow.
Body pillow. I can't see a Joe King waifu. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, the possibility is yes, but this needs to be exploited thoroughly before you move on to the next design.
Yeah. Because when you design the bigger one, if you design the bigger one, make sure that it's got an open mouth.
Oh my
because
God.
because I'm gonna cut a seam in the butt of that thing and basically empty it out, and I'm gonna turn it into a puppet. Just
A
just
sock puppet.
yes, yes, a joking
You
ventriloquist.
realize
Oh
what
my
this is
God.
sounding like, right, RJ?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I actually have a sock puppet. I got a real sock. Oh, I got a sock puppet. Okay, that's awesome. Now I can tell people I got a sock puppet account. There you go.
Yes.
You know, George,
Because-
the one that the dogs ate of Cthulhu, literally the head is a sock. It's a sock puppet. I can make a head out of that one.
Oh yeah. Did you tell them about that?
Yeah, no, I didn't. So I ordered the
they
first
do
sample.
Funniest thing ever. Funniest thing ever.
Yeah, I ordered I had the first sample set, right? And this was right when I was going through all this stuff with my father, and I was back and forth before he went to hospice, and I stayed there at their house. I was kind of going back and forth, traveling to see my parents. And because I was trying to make some little videos with him, I just kept, bringing him with me in my suitcase when I would, go to stay out there. And the one day I came home and I opened the suitcase and I left it out, and he was sitting there and I forgot about him, and my dogs got a hold of him. And I came down and he was torn, or actually my wife brought it to me. She's like, "Oh no, what happened?" I'm like, "What?" And she showed it to me. I'm like, "Oh my God." And they destroyed him. And I contacted the manufacturer, and for a very reasonable price, they printed up they made another one, and they got it out to me. 2 weeks, George. I think I got it. Not even a week.
Less
Later.
Yeah.
The dog recognized an existential threat and took care of business.
Yeah. See now it's a sock puppet.
Oh, good Lord. It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah, put your fingers down in there just like it is. Oh, man, that's hilarious.
So if your dogs eat it, guys, it has a second life as a sock puppet. There you go.
Dang. Yeah, I want to set up conversations between Marmalade and Joe. That would be yeah. Marmalade's my puppet that I've done a few streams with. He's done some interviews.
I've seen Marmalade. You do a good job with it. I mean, I did the puppet too. I did that Jeff puppet, the gray one. So I mean, I've done.
That was you. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that was me?
I remember Jeff.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and I'll freely admit I was I used to do ventriloquism when I was in high school. I had the hard plastic wooden puppet kind of things, and practiced a lot with that. Did some shows with that, but I was fully inspired to get back into it with all the Zerk puppet shows that Cider used to do, and I miss Zerk. I kept saying Zerk should have his own show and just interview people, and he never did it. And so I'm like, well, screw it. I know how to do that. I'll take care of it. And found me one and did it. Yeah. So, hey, you could always just order, say, hey, send me another 50 of the cute Cthulhu's, but don't stuff them.
Yeah. Make it up.
Because I got hands. Just send them out as finger puppets. That'd be cool. Well, you know what? I'm gonna reload it one more time. Why not? Maybe lightning will strike twice, and see what we got. Maybe not, but we can always hope.
Yep.
Boy, I'm glad I don't have any of my porn sites listed up here on my book thing. Like, wow, I just realized I've always been showing everything that I go to on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's all like printing and book weight and okay, never mind.
And Spectrum cable.
Yeah. Well, that's because I'm paying for Spectrum cable in St. Louis. But the side effect of it is that I get HBO Max as part of that for free, and I can go watch anything I missed on my Spectrum by.
I actually have a Spectrum story. So I'm in the Chicago area. We don't have Spectrum here. As far as the HBO Max, I have AT&T cell phone, and I get
there you go,
HBO Max for free with that. But my son was going to university at Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. So he was up in Milwaukee, and his senior year, the dorms were full, and they kind of screwed us on didn't let us know that. So he had to get an apartment the last year. This was back in 2019. So we found him a small apartment. It was reasonable, and we set him up with cable. And then because he still didn't have much of credit history yet or anything like that. They needed me, so we got in this. It had Spectrum in Milwaukee, so we set them up with Spectrum, and it was fine, and went through blah blah blah, and then it's not most likely them, it's someone else. But I'm not kidding you. For the last 6 months now, and this was a couple of years ago, right? We're 2022. This was 3-4 years ago when he graduated. He was done. I've been getting robocalls once a week from Spectrum TV to lower your prices or switch to Spectrum and stuff. Like I'm in Chicago. I'm like, no, here's Spectrum, and I'm getting all these robocalls. Like, stop. I don't need them.
Just ask him how much would it be to run cable all the way to?
Yeah. I haven't had cable in a long time. Actually, I did cut the cord a while ago. I just use my streaming services. I don't even bother with cable anymore.
That's all I'm doing. But like I said, I'm paying for it back at my old house still. So I've got the Spectrum account, and I have the benefits of it. When I do finally shut it off, I'll be like, do I really want to cut the cable? Because I like live information. I like to, well, you know what? I say I like that. Basically, all I want to know is the tornado coming right now? That's something you can't
get
off
stuff through your phone, though. You can sign up for services where
I do that. In fact, I've got that service.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't need it. I can watch whatever I want when it comes to DVD or when it's streaming. So
yeah, but
and when it's news, it's streamed everywhere.
Most local TV can be easily caught with UHF.
True. Even though they went digital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's digital. I mean, the UHF antennas. Are digital.
Oh,
decoders.
those digital antennas, like the ones you stick on the window.
They look like a Batman symbol. It's like
yeah.
Yeah, a pizza box sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It's omnidirectional. You take that, you plug. I got that. I've had it for 12 years now. 2010, I canceled my cable service, what called TV cable service, and we pick up the local channels. In fact,
I'm not kidding you. I haven't watched local channels in years.
At best, we got like 35 channels on a good day, and half of them are from the United States. KTLA is one of them. I kid you not.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
The closest thing I've watched to a local channel at all is keeping up with those bad CW shows for DC.
Yeah.
I just go to cwtv.net or cwtv.com, and you can watch them all there the next day.
Right. I'm saying that was like before I cut the cable. That was literally the only reason. There was nothing local that I watched. I haven't watched a local news in 20 years. Let's put it that way. I haven't watched Chicago local news in forever.
Anything of importance is going to be on Twitter.
Yeah. Here you go. Oh God. But I haven't watched. Yeah, and ABC, NBC, CBS. There's really nothing there that interests me. Anything I do watch is usually on some kind of streaming service. It's not even.
And that should scare them to death.
Yeah.
Actually, it does. It does.
Yeah. They'll do something about it. Woody misses Charlie. I find it ironic that Woody misses Charlie McCarthy. Just from the names. Yeah, I actually listened to Charlie McCarthy and Edgar Bergen on old time radio on Sirius XM. So I like doing that. Hey, Mike Walters is here, dropping in to say hi and share and like. I appreciate that. Mike's getting ready to go live in 10 minutes on his channel over at the Mike Stand. So. So we pop over there and get your, what is today? Saturday. He's not getting ready to go over there. So never mind, Mike. Don't rush over and start up a show. He does it Monday through Friday.
He'll probably rush there and go, I got advertising on my show. I'm going to go now.
Yes. And KTLA says is in his neck of the woods. So you're picking up quite the broadcast there, George.
Oh, yeah. And it also has really fringe channels. What do you call it? Black and white movies, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous how incredible it is to get just the UHF signal free to air. It's absolutely amazing, and it's digital. It's all digital. That's the amazing thing.
Yeah. When my son was younger, he had a television in his room, and my ex was like, no cable in that room. We don't need him watching things he didn't need to watch, and it was in the front of the house. It was in front of the living room basically. And so he got a digital antenna from Walmart, own money, and hooked it all up himself. And he's like, watching like Me TV and Starsky and Hutch and all that.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, no problem here. He's watching that. So we're like, great, he's got his own TV. Then what I didn't realize was like, she was upstairs doing Ancestry all the time and stuff. And he just went into the living room, turned on the Spectrum box because it was right next door. And not only was he watching cable, but he figured out how the on-demand worked, and he was just picking whatever he wanted to watch. I went into on-demand one day and I looked at that history and I'm like, somebody likes Stephen King movies. Of course, it didn't matter because he was always going. He had a Blu-ray player in there because we could control what he watched. Right? If you give him the discs he's allowed to watch. Again, free access to the house. I come home and he's basically like, where's the second disc of this Sekirei set? Like, why are you watching Sekirei? And he's like, duh. It's like, oh, that's right. You're 14, aren't you? Sekirei is an anime. It's a harem anime, and it's got boobs. And he's 14. So it's like, perfectly meant.
It's
how did we talk about this?
My my wife loves anime, and my stepson, he's at that age now, he's 14, and he watches it with her. She watches it together. And she doesn't make any jokes about it. She goes, he likes watching the ones that have the boobs. Sure. It's like, and honestly, I don't see much wrong with that. Like, the only restrictions, she's going to start loosening up because he is getting older now. But the only real restrictions, like, she didn't care about violence. She didn't care about language. She's like, he's going to hear it anyway. So it's like,
whose dad is? Come on.
Right. But she's like, the only thing she was worried about was actual sex and hard sexual situations.
Yeah. Which I've never run into in any anime, so I'm sure it's there.
But if there's just like, even in regular movies, if it was just a boobie, like someone getting out of the shower and then getting dressed, that's not a sexual situation. It's just someone getting out of the shower and getting dressed. That doesn't even bother her that much. She's just more concerned if it was, displays of sexual situations involved with it. And she's like, he's a little too young to see that stuff.
It's kind of why I kind of wish sometimes that, I'd been born 10 years later, because then I'd be going through puberty during the DVD era instead of the VHS era where, pauses had a lot of flicker to them.
Oh, no, you were in the same era I was, I'm pretty sure, RJ. We were like we didn't have cable. I didn't have cable. Okay, I was born in 1974. When I was a kid, we did not have cable. My dad would not pay for cable. Immigrant family, like, no, screw that. He did get an on TV box. If anyone's old enough to remember what that was, for a short while, we got on TV. It was one of those where you could buy the box and you would get like a couple channels forever. It was the first pirating basically.
Yeah, I remember that.
Of stuff. And he paid like $300 for the box or something, and it lasted for like a year, and then they changed the signal or something, and you couldn't use it anymore. But there were certain channels that you couldn't get unless you had them unlocked already, and it had the whole distortion, right, where they distort it. And as a kid, you're like just sitting there trying to watch, and a nipple would appear in the middle of the distortion. And you're like, oh, there it is, and it would go away.
or when I was born in 1967, so I was in college with cable, and I went to computer and electronics college, so all the EET students were like building stub tuners to go in there. It's like, hey, we just adjust it.
Yep,
it's not quite as flickery. We're watching the Playboy channel.
You know the funny thing about that is that when we had the cable and they had the specialty channels that you had to unlock, the cable company would unlock them. And the pay TV, the first pay TV channels, I would put it to the movie channel, and so they would have, say, like Superman the movie, and I had it. I was listening to Superman the movie while I was actually working, drawing comics and stuff, like radio, right? They did distort the audio.
No, just the video.
Yeah, I know. It was great. You can actually sit there and draw, but you already know these movies. You already enjoyed them. You already loved them. It's like now you can just have them in the background playing. It's great.
Okay, so here I was living in North Carolina around 1997, and we got Prime Star. It's the first time we'd ever had satellite. And of course, we lived near an Air Force base, so it was always getting blacked out every time we were in the flight path. Plane would fly in between, but we only bought the one box, even though we had televisions in the bedroom and the living room.
Shoot, I gotta go. I got a movie night. Oh my
Bye.
God!
All right, George.
See ya.
See you, George. But we only had the one box. So what I did was I ran the cable from the satellite dish into the box, and then the out. I said, you know what? Instead of just putting it into the TV, why don't I run it into the wall? I ran it right into the wall with a splitter, and then back out of the wall and into the TV. I'm like, yes, this works. Went into the bedroom, plugged the bedroom TV into the wall socket, and lo and behold, whatever the living room set was on, you could watch in the bedroom. You could go in there, change channel, go back in bed and watch. It was inconvenient to get up and change channel, but you're going to watch a movie more than likely. So I'm up late in the living room. It's like, dark 30. And I remember I was watching Freaks because I stayed up to watch it because I'd never seen it before and it was on some channel. And it goes off and I'm like, I wonder what's on the Playboy channel. Didn't have the Playboy channel, but you could see the titles pop up. And sometimes, they'd run ads unscrambled. I was like, here it comes. And just the titles up there. And while the title's on the screen, I hear from the other side of the house, get that off that TV. she had turned on the TV and I was stone busted,
what the hell?
Man.
At the worst time, right?
At the very worst time. She's like, get that off of there. It's like, it ain't on. I was flipping through channels and pausing. Oh, man.
Listen, I had to run in the room. I flipped it, came back. I'm like, oh, this is the wrong channel. Then I had to run back again.
Come on. Well, I'm glad we got one more background here for you. I would love to see this thing get funded because I think this is a really cool product. There's so many Lovecraftian fans out there, and I don't know how to find them for you. I don't know how to say, hey, this would be a great channel because it's all Lovecraft all the time. They should see this.
No, I get it. I mean, here that's the thing though. It's like my my comic book, the Isadora book. It's I've dubbed it my universe a Lovecraftian dark heroverse, right? Because I take Lovecraft elements and mash it up with the superhero genre, and it's a lot of people at the beginning when I was first started, people are like, you don't understand Lovecraft. I'm like, this is not a pastiche. That's not what this is. This is it's elements of it that I take that I'm using in here. And when you think about Lovecraftian kind of stuff like that, you think, there's no hope. It's the futility of humanity, right? That we're nothing in the eyes of the greater cosmos and madness,
Yes.
Well, when you think about the superhero genre, what is it? It's the opposite, right? Oh, there's always hope. There's always someone who can save the day, and it may not be the perfect hero, and stuff like that. So what do? I'll take someone who was an agent of those Lovecraftian kind of deities, who uses that power now, breaks away to use it for good to try to stop them, even in the face of what would be insurmountable odds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And your character gets her powers and strength from the King in Yellow.
Right. Which is also like the King in Yellow wasn't Lovecraft. That was Chambers. Chambers first made the King in Yellow. Then Lovecraft took the idea and did and added them to a few things in his writings. But the King in Yellow is always something that's kind of just like the Cthulhu mythos, has evolved and changed depending on what author has picked it up. Right? They've taken different things of it. What first really made me think about it when I started doing this was when they had it in True Detectives. Was that the name of the show? True Detectives?
Possibly. I know that was a real title. So
Matt McConaughey. It was one. Then they had like different people each season, but the King in Yellow in that too. And I just the way they would talk about it, the King in Yellow, like this entity, and no one knows exactly who it is, and the way it captured my imagination, and I really enjoyed that, and that's why I have her as the harbinger, the avatar for the King in Yellow. She has this yellow sign and comes to Earth to, instill the madness. And I have it to where it's like basically people who dies from this, their souls come to Carcosa and the King in Yellow basically needs those souls to thrive off of or whatever it could be, it will be. But she was a human once, 2,000 years ago when she got this. And she found a way to kind of like put him, because the one thing we know about all of these eldritch beings, they will like Cthulhu, especially. They'll be for sleep for eons, right?
Yes,
they're asleep unless something wakes them up. So one thing they're easily put to sleep, right? Nice little lullaby. They can be easily put to sleep. You can't beat them, but you can make them go Betty bye.
Just tire them out.
Right. So she found a way to kind of have the King in Yellow, dormant, and she was able to she's like, oh cool, wait, now I can use this power to do what I want to do, and she tries to save people from it. And there's a whole storyline that's building up from it, and other old ones that are going to be involved. And I was thinking I'd like to grow it out to like a kind of Lovecraftian Justice League almost, where you different characters.
That's a great idea. Yeah, the Justice Lovecraft League. I don't know how to put it together, but yeah, and the book he's talking about, folks, is what you would get on this $35 tier here. So for $10 more, get the backstory, understand why there is a cute Cthulhu plushie out here to be bought. So,
and the original print from issue 1 that has that in there is in that collector's book, because the book is issue 1 and 2, which is there were 24-page issues, right? So 48 pages. However, that book is 62 pages.
Nice thick book.
all the cover art from both books, because they had 2 or 3 covers for each book. All the cover art and those prints, like the one that Red Leaf made, the anime one, I have all those in there as additional art prints inside of that book as well. So,
all right, well, Mr. Lunga, thank you so much for coming on tonight,
thank you for having me.
Sharing this. Oh, glad to do it. Very happy to do it. I think this is a unique project. I love seeing unique projects, things that get away from the norm. I mean, we love comics. We love talking about the stories, but at the end of the day, when you can do something extra special, I think that deserves some extra attention. So
certainly,
I wish you the best of luck with this. I want you to sell as many of them as you can, and I want you to sell 1,000 of them internationally too. So
thank you very much.
We'll take care of that. Folks in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you. We're just a podcast falling in the woods otherwise. So we are so glad that you're always here. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.